Hello there. So do you love gardening but you're not doing it anymore? Either because you feel it's too time consuming, or maybe you are renting an apartment or a condo and you don't have any space to plant. Maybe you have only the balcony or your porch. Or it could be that you're an older person and you feel like bending down to do your gardening is giving you waist pain, and so you don't want to do it anymore. So if you are really interested in gardening, maybe container gardening is a solution that you could consider. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 9 benefits of doing container gardening. So if you're interested in this, keep watching. Hello there and welcome to my channel. My name is Zumi and I'm a Nigerian living in Canada. So on this channel, I share Canada immigration tips, my personal experiences as a Nigerian living in Canada, success strategies for new immigrants to enable them adjust more easily into the Canadian society, food recipe remixes using Nigerian and Canadian ingredients, container gardening tutorials, and so much more. So if you are interested in this kind of content, kindly consider clicking the subscribe button below so that you can receive notifications whenever I upload a new video. So I've always loved gardening right from childhood, and it's a very serious hobby for me. But upon moving to Canada and being a renter, I realized that I didn't have any space to do my gardening, and it was so saddening to me. But about 2 years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to container gardening, and since then it has been an amazing experience for me. So I thought I would share it with you all. In the first year, I had a good harvest, although I didn't have I didn't have a lot of containers. I was just trying to experiment. So, but I had a good harvest and it encouraged me. And in the second year, I doubled whatever I had, and I had a huge harvest. I planted okras, peppers, cucumbers, all manner of things. And it was so massive that I had to keep sharing with friends and neighbors because I couldn't finish what I produced by myself. So basically, container gardens give the same yield, the same harvest as you would get if you were planting in the ground. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't want to give away the point. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you the 9 reasons why I think you should consider doing container gardening this time around. The first reason why you need to consider container gardening is because with container gardens, you can plant your crops anywhere. It could be on your driveway, like I did last year. It could be on your porch. It could be on your balcony, anywhere, as long as you can get sunlight right where you are going to keep your containers, you are good to go. And another thing about it also is that with container gardens, you can set it up the way it works for you. So if you're someone that has waist pain and you don't want to keep bending to the ground to do your container gardening, you can set up a table, or you can get maybe the kind of raised beds, which I'm going to put some pictures there. You can get raised beds that enable you to stand and do your gardening. So you set it up the way that it works for you. So the second point is that it requires little labor when compared to planting things in the ground. So for container gardening, once you do the initial setup, which involves, getting your containers, making holes in them if they don't have the necessary holes, and then setting them up and filling them with soil and all that, that is all you need to do. You don't really need to do any weeding. The weeds are almost non-existent, right? All you need to do, every morning you wake up, you water your plants. In the evening you wake up, you water your plants, and then once a week or two, or once in 2 weeks, you add fertilizer to the water and you are good to go. And you water the plants, and then when it's time, you just go ahead and harvest your plants. Another point is that with container gardening, you have a bountiful supply of fresh organic produce all through the summer and even beyond. So when we go to the grocery stores, in the produce section, they have organic vegetables and fruits, and the ones that are not organic. And the organic ones are more expensive because they don't use chemicals, and they're not genetically modified, and so many other benefits. And those ones are definitely healthier. The other ones that are not organic are cheaper, but we don't know what they put in them. So when you plant your own, you know how you are planting it. It turns out, you don't use chemicals and all that. So you are producing your own organic vegetables and fruits at home. And so which means you're going to eat healthier. And also you save money on buying organic produce all through like maybe 3-4 months of the summer and early fall, right? So it's a win-win situation for you. So another point is that when you plant things by yourself, they actually taste better. And this is not being biased because you're the one that planted it by yourself. No. So for example, I planted kale. I've been planting kale and all that. Before I started doing this container gardening, I used to buy kale from the shop and I use it to substitute for ugu leaves, which is that's fluted pumpkin leaves. So, but it tasted normal to me. It was kind of close to ugu, right? But then by the time I harvested my own, that was when I realized that there was something different about the one I planted and the ones I used to buy in the shop. I realized that the ones I planted were very tender and nice, but the ones from the shop, sometimes they're so strong, you'll be chewing and chewing and it doesn't feel like you're eating a vegetable that has been cooked. And beyond the softness, the tenderness, I also noticed that the flavor was much more like the fluted pumpkin, the ugu leaves. Man, I so much fell in love with kale because of that. So every year, even this time around, this planting season, I'm going to be doubling my kale containers. So I'm telling you, it tastes better. Even my children, they don't really like eating fresh tomatoes and all that, but I planted them grape tomatoes last season and they were so tasty. The children would come out in the and they come and be plucking the thing and begging me, oh mommy, let me have some, and they just have lots of fun. Which takes me to another point. It gives you opportunity to bond with your children, or maybe it could be your grandchildren. So most of the time, children don't really, over here, unless you take them to a farm, they don't really understand where these things come from. So I gave my children the opportunity, give them containers and tell them, okay, you can plant whatever you want. And most of the times, when children plant their own things, they take pride. It helps you to bond with them. You know, they are like, oh, mommy, come and see my tomatoes are sprouting. Look at, oh my goodness. And there's that joy. And they will end up eating it because it's their own planting. So in the end, you're actually helping your children or maybe your grandchildren to eat healthier while you're bonding with them. Win-win situation again, right? Point number 6 is that it is very refreshing and relaxing, and it gives you an opportunity to connect with nature, regardless of where you are. Maybe you are living in a skyscraper or in a condo, right? And you are up there, but you are connecting with nature. So for me, I'm a mom of 3 young children, and throughout the day, they keep shouting, oh, mom, this, mom, that. So in the mornings, after I'm done with my morning devotions and whatever I want to do early in the morning, I just go out there and I tend to my plants, I talk to them, I pet them. I don't know, but sometimes I ask myself, are you okay? But I tell you, it is so relaxing. By the time I'm done, like, will I call it communing with nature? I don't know what it is, but there's something beautiful. You come away feeling refreshed. You feel rejuvenated, ready to take on whatever comes with the day. So I encourage you to try it. You may not understand what I'm saying unless you try it. Please kindly subscribe if you are enjoying this video and if you want to learn more about container gardening. So point number 7 is actually very exciting for me because it is in line with what I plan to do this year. You get to plant what you really love to eat. You know, Canada is a land of immigrants, and most of the times, unfortunately, people from other countries may not have access to the vegetables and fruits that they are used to in their home countries. So, but here with container gardening, you can actually source for the seeds of the vegetables that you are familiar with from back home. And then you can plant them in your own garden. So this year already, I am making plans. My desire is to plant more of Nigerian vegetables. And I'm going to be sharing my journey on that with you guys on this channel. So you get to plant what you eat and you enjoy it, because most people, because they don't like the vegetables, they don't like the broccolis, they don't like the cauliflowers, they don't like the kales and all those things, most people end up not taking enough vegetables. But if you are planting what you love, what you will really eat, then you will eat more vegetables, you'll be healthier, you will be happier, you feel less of homesickness. So point number 8 is that you can plant literally anything in container gardens. So ranging from leafy vegetables like maybe lettuce, spinach, kale, and all those things, to regular fruity vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and all those things. And then you can even plant trees in containers. Okay, so but I would recommend, if you are going for trees, you look for maybe dwarf varieties. Like you can see, I'm going to be adding a picture of lemon trees and all manner of trees that are planted in containers and they are yielding. So you don't have any excuse. You don't have any excuse. If you love gardening, you can do it in a container right on your balcony. As long as you have sunlight there, you are good to go. Aren't you getting excited? And then finally, point number 9. So with container gardening, you get to reuse your containers over and again for years. So let's assume that you start small this year. You buy, let's say, 5 or 10 containers just to give it a try. And if you like it, you don't have to throw them away. Even the soil, you can reuse it. But what I do with soil is I buy new soil and I mix it with the old one. And it refreshes the soil and I'm good to go. So all you need to do is, if you like the container gardening idea, then next year you buy more containers and more containers, as long as you have enough space to put them, and you are good to go. So I'm just encouraging you, if you've never considered gardening at all, or you love gardening and you don't have any space, consider doing container gardening this year, and then you're going to come back to me and you will tell me how bountiful your harvest was and how much easier it was than digging in the ground and planting in ground. So have I successfully convinced you to try out container gardening this year? I would like to hear from you in the comment section below. And if you've not subscribed yet, please kindly click the subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.